Hello, welcome to this installment of Supporting Children Through Absence. In this video, we will be discussing preparing children for reunion. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship. We are all treaty people. I'm Jennifer Landon, and presenting with me is Tracy Romke. I've been supporting children and their families for 15 years. The past 5 years have been here at the H&R MFRC in the role of Child and Family Coordinator, and now I'm in the role of Deployment Coordinator. I'm a proud military spouse. I have 2 young boys. This is my second posting, and before COVID, my family typically experienced frequent short in and out deployments with a few longer ones thrown in for good measure. And now I invite Tracy to introduce herself.
Thank you, Jennifer. So I'm Tracy Romke. I've been working with children and families for the better part of 20 years in a variety of capacities. I've been with the Halifax and Region MFRC for the past 2 years as the Child and Family Program Coordinator, supporting families through military lifestyle challenges and also delivering programs that enrich the family unit. So you are in the right place if you want to develop a better understanding of the parent deployment of cycle, learn more about resilience, learn strategies, tools, and approaches to help children manage reunion and reintegration.
If you've taken our workshops before, then you've likely seen this already. But if not, let's introduce you to the Mental Health Continuum. It's part of the Road to Mental Readiness program, and it's used for mental health self-awareness. It's a visual reference tool that you can use to check in with yourself or your children. We like to think about mental health as a color-coded continuum, like you see in the picture here. Being green or healthy means you are thriving. A person will not be green all of the time, and they will range into yellow when dealing with normal stressors. Being in the yellow is normal, but staying in the yellow for prolonged periods of time can affect our physical, mental, and spiritual health and can be a factor for getting into the orange. Children who are green are generally able to play, learn, and problem solve according to their developmental stage. This does not mean that they aren't experiencing stress, but most of the time they are doing well and able to manage stress, going from green to yellow and back to green again. Children who are showing signs of stress or spending more time in the orange and red than the green might complain of illness like stomach aches and headaches. They might whine more than usual. They may show changes in habits, like their eating habits, sleeping, and toileting. You might see changes in mood, some sadness, panicking, crying, arguing, fighting, or even some aggression. You might notice maintaining focus is a challenge. They might refuse to attend school. They might be quieter or sullen, or not caring about things than they typically would. Now, some of you may think to yourself, well, all kids do that, or my kid's always like that. But here we're just talking about the stress reaction. We're talking about an increase in the frequency, so how often it's happening, the duration, how long it's happening, or the intensity of these symptoms. Ask yourself if it's more than usual for your child's temperament. If your child is spending a significant amount of time in the orange and red, then please seek some extra support. We will share extra supports available to families at the end of our video. It's important to remember that reunion can be both stressful and exciting at the same time for family members.
The mental health continuum visual helps adults and older children to check in with themselves. Parents can use the stress stoplight with their children in similar ways. This tool can be used with children as young as 3 years old to help the whole family use similar language to describe how they feel. I'm feeling green today, things are going well, or I'm feeling red today, I need to change something to feel better. Some families have made pictures of the stoplight together and put it on their fridge or door frame so children can point or indicate how they're feeling. Similar to the mental health continuum, the red zone is when children are under too much stress or feeling upset or overwhelmed. The yellow is when children are ready to make a change so they can move to the green and feel better. The green means go. Children are feeling good, playing better, thinking clearer, and are more comfortable. We all want to help our children to get to green. Remember, the goal is not a stress-free life. It's about stressing better, and learning strategies that help you move toward green are part of this. As parents, you play a major role in helping your children learn to do this. Children don't have the lived experience and skills that adults do to manage life, so they look to you and how you manage your own stress and emotions to learn how to manage theirs. Being aware of your own emotions and that of the other parent can help you understand how your children experience change and how you can support one another. You won't do this well all the time. We all have our moments, and that's okay. Coaching children to keep things in perspective and helping them understand that this change is a normal part of life will help them to get through tough times and move forward. The strategies we're going to share today provide ideas on how you can strengthen and build resiliency in your families. Children can learn to relieve stress and find ways to respond to challenging situations. By learning to cope with life's ups and downs, children develop healthy strategies which help them adapt, be resourceful, and become more resilient.
How people react to separations can be highly individual. There is no right way to do it. However, many military families describe common emotions and experiences which can be summarized in the parenting cycle of deployment. The purpose of the parenting cycle of deployment is to give you an idea of the range of reactions and particularly stressful points during deployments, so you can be aware of each family member's feelings and needs. Plus, it's always nice to see that what you are experiencing is common. Preparing for a reunion is filled with excitement and some apprehension. All members of the family will have hopes and expectations about homecoming. These thoughts can at times be idealistic, so the reality of the situation needs to be placed into perspective. Emotionally preparing for a reunion allows you to think about the challenges and discuss plans with children, loved ones, and friends. The parenting cycle of deployment is divided into 3 phases. Many of you are coming to the end of phase 2 during deployment and getting ready for phase 3 post-deployment. As you can see on the slide, each phase is broken into stages totaling 7. We will discuss each family member's experience for the last 3 stages. The 3 stages are anticipation of homecoming. This stage is usually filled with a little bit of everything: joy, excitement, and nervousness. Homecoming and reintegration. This is the early days after the homecoming. This is the stage where you begin to feel the sense of being back together as a family. Tension is normal, so the expectation that everything will be perfect when they return, and it may not be. Feeling unsettled is common, as well as a sense that things are changing and that renegotiation needs to happen. Stabilization. At this stage, a sense of comfort in roles and relationships is developed. We will now look at each family member's experience as they move through the cycle.
The deployed caregiver's experience. During the anticipation of homecoming, the deployed parent may be wondering how they will be accepted or needed by families and whether young children will remember them. Homecoming and reintegration. The deployed parent may be tired and have some difficulty adjusting to the change in their environment. Stabilization. The deployed caregiver and the at-home caregiver are both feeling more relaxed and comfortable with each other. They are both working together on new parenting routines. And now we're going to look at the at-home caregiver. Anticipation of homecoming. Feelings of joy and excitement in anticipation of being reunited. They may feel apprehensive about how their CAF member will feel about the changes they made during their absence. Homecoming and reintegration. The at-home parent or caregiver may have a sense of loss of freedom and independence, having to be accountable to the other parent. This is where renegotiation of parenting roles begins. Stabilization. Again, the deployed caregiver and the at-home caregiver are feeling more relaxed and comfortable with each other, and they are both working together on new parenting routines.
You've probably figured it out, but the child's experience is more challenging to describe. Each age and stage will understand and express their feelings differently. Anticipation of homecoming. Older children and teenagers may feel that the rules will change and newly won freedoms might be lost. Some may be confused and uncertain. Small children may have difficulty remembering what it was like to be around their deployed parent. Homecoming and reintegration. Children are often unpredictable in their reactions. While you might expect children to welcome the deployed parent back with open arms, it's not uncommon for them to act unpredictably. How they reacted to homecoming as a toddler might be completely different from how they react as a preschooler. Be patient while they take the time to adjust to the new normal. Stabilization. The child adapts to a new normal. There are more equal expectations from both parents. More understanding and acceptance of rules and boundaries, although older children and teenagers may continue to test these as a normal part of their development. Try to continue to spend one-on-one time with each child doing something they enjoy. Think about your family traditions and ways you can strengthen the bonds between you while you are together. Schedule regular family time to have a movie night, play games, or have a meal together. No two kids are the same, and your challenge as a parent is to know what works with your individual child and their emotional needs. Children are all at various developmental ages and stages, and how they operate in the world is different. Some children are outgoing, others are cautious. Some children thrive in new environments and situations. Others are more anxious about new things. Some children have big feelings that they express freely, while others keep their feelings more to themselves. There is no right or wrong. What children need is the opportunity to be themselves. Your children will develop and change, but as the parent, you are a constant in this journey. Think about how you can use what you already know about your child to prepare and support them during this homecoming. Let's take a look at how children at different ages and stages might react and handle reunion.
Infants. For your infant, homecoming means big changes. There is someone new at home to get to know. And the adult they depended on all these months is likely to be preoccupied. Familiar routines are probably changing. They may need your reassurance at a time when you are feeling in need of a hug yourself. Most babies go through stages in which they can be fearful of new people, including family members they haven't seen for a while. This can be especially true around 7 to 9 months of age. So some behaviors you may see from your infant would include that they may not recognize the returning parent or caregiver. They may cling to the at-home parent or caregiver, and they may react to changes in routines. So some things that you can do with the returning parent is to relax and take time to reacquaint, play with the baby while the at-home parent or caregiver holds the baby, and help participate in daily routines. And now we're going to take a look at toddlers. So young children are still developing the ability to remember. Many toddlers are able to hold a picture of their loved ones in their minds. However, stress and tension, often part of homecoming, can make it difficult to recall these memories. Children also differ in how easily they adapt to new people and situations. It's easier for some than others. For some, it takes a very long time. Let your child know what is going to happen a day or two before. This way, you can give them a sense of comfort that comes with knowing what to expect, and you will avoid disappointment and confusion if homecoming is delayed. So some of the behaviors you may see from your toddler, they may be quiet and reserved. They may be unable to focus on certain activities. They may not recognize the returning parent or caregiver. They may cry or have meltdowns, and they may have problems with toilet training. So what you and the returning parent can do to help that would be to wait for physical closeness, so hold off on the hugs, give them some space and time, be gentle and fun, sit close to the partner with the child in the middle. Then let the child take the lead in play. Keep some semblance of routine and allow the returning caregiver to slowly take part again.
Preschoolers may not really understand what is happening until the homecoming is about to happen. Behavior may become more erratic as they sense change is coming. There may be a tendency to default to the primary caregiver for cuddles and reassurance. Some behaviors you may see from your preschooler: they may need time to warm up to the returning parent, may be energetic or exhausted, worry about the parent leaving again, test limits, act out to get attention, or ask repetitive questions. When are they coming home? Where will they be? How are they getting here? What you and the returning parent can do: take your time, accept their feelings, listen and reassure. Teach self-care strategies. Sometimes when I feel sad, I like to blow bubbles or listen to music. Do you want to try one? We'll now take a look at school age and teens. School-age children will often carry on as normal until close to the reunion and may communicate any worries through unpredictable behavior. Remember that children also experience confusing, unsure feelings. They have worry, fear, guilt, anger, as well as excitement, happiness, and relief as they anticipate the reunion. You can help your children express their feelings by drawing pictures, writing stories, making up songs, and play acting. Some behaviors you may see from your school-ager are that they're very excited. They might wonder if they've lived up to the parents' expectations, talk nonstop about getting reacquainted, feel very proud of the returning parent, tendency to default to the primary caregiver for decisions with confusion about which parent to ask for things, seeking attention in both positive and less constructive ways, testing to see if both parents will have a united front, playing one off against the other. What you and the returning parent can do: listen to their stories, review pictures and schoolwork, praise accomplishments, keep it positive, communicate with other parent about rules and expectations, allow time for emotional reconnection. If children are a little wary to begin with, this can be upsetting, but it will resolve. Spend time with each child individually, doing an activity of the child's choice. Teach self-care strategies. Sometimes I feel worried too. When I feel that way, my tummy feels twirly and I breathe fast. To feel better, I sing my favorite song.
Teenagers. Teenagers may or may not wish to be involved in preparations for the homecoming. They may appear distant and not bothered about it and continue focusing on friendships. Some behaviors you may see from your teen: they may be excited about the return of the parent or caregiver. They may show concern about living up to expectations. They may wonder about rules and responsibilities with the return. So what you and the returning parent or caregiver can do: share experiences about the months away, encourage teens to share what has happened to them while their parent or caregiver was gone, find out about their interests and use those as a springboard to talk or conversations, ask for their advice about music and technology, watch their favorite movie or YouTube channel with them, give them a bit of space and allow them to continue with normal activities. Use time in the car or out for a walk to strike up conversations. That feels less intimidating to teens, more than a one-on-one eye contact conversation. And you might want to also model self-care strategies like, I'm feeling edgy today. I could really blow off some steam. I'm going to go shoot some hoops. Do you want to come have a game of one-on-one? No? Okay. I'll be back in a half hour. That was a busy week. Time for comfy clothes, popcorn, and a good movie. Do you want to make some popcorn too?
No matter the age, recognize that the early days tend to be emotionally challenging, with changes causing friction and clashes. This is normal and not a reflection of the quality of relationships or an indication of how things will be in the future. Explain to children in an age-appropriate way what will happen. Amid the excitement, try to resist the urge to build up homecoming into a massive deal. This increases the pressure of expectation of things to be perfect and can add to the stress.
Reestablishing relationships can't be hurried. Feeling connected again can take time, and it isn't always easy, no matter how much you love that person, no matter your age. You can support your child when you all spend time together, work together to parent, talk about your approach to discipline, and are aware of rising tensions. Follow your child's lead. Is your child smiling? Look at the returning parent in the eye. Reaching his arms out, he may be telling you he is ready to be picked up by the returning parent or caregiver. Is she looking away, clinging to the parent or caregiver who has been home with him or her? Is he or she telling you he needs some space and time? As the mother of a toddler says about returning home, let your child set the pace of reconciliation, even though it might be killing you inside. Adjust your celebration to fit your child. Are they easily overwhelmed in a crowd? Consider a dinner at home and hanging out. Are they tired and cranky? Maybe they need a nap before family members arrive. Keep things simple. This is not the day to try out a fancy new recipe or worry that your child's pants are torn. The most important thing is to focus on them being together.
Try to think realistically about homecoming and include children in the planning for the homecoming. As a family, share expectations and desires for the homecoming about what to expect, especially concerning who should be included. Some families will include extended as well as immediate family members, while others may prefer to share this event exclusively with spouse and children. It is important during these busy times that the children are aware what's going on and that their concerns are heard. Spend time all together. This gives your child the support of their parent who was home while they start feeling comfortable with the parent who has just returned. Enjoy everyday moments. Sit together. Sing a silly song. Tell a story. Build with blocks. Talk about what's been going on at school. Focus on now, not just on making up for lost time with a parent. Your child doesn't need an expensive toy or a trip to the theme park. They just need time with you. Send your child the message that you are a family by talking about your returning family member and including them in daily routines. For example, I'm happy mommy's home. Let her read the story tonight. Or, let's show dad how you can make a 3-pointer now. Involve older children in some of the family decision-making or problem-solving when appropriate, so that they feel they have a say in the family and renegotiation as well. Remember to breathe and stay active together to work through all the feelings and stressors. When we are experiencing a great deal of change and fluctuation in our lives, such as reunion, we might notice that our bodies react. The mind and body are interconnected. When the body is relaxed, the mind can slow down. When the mind is calm and the body can relax. Adults can teach children how the mind and body are connected by providing opportunities for movement, stretching, and action. Learning ways to relax helps children to feel better, less tense or upset, and more confident in themselves. Breathing is an important tool to give you and your child an opportunity to pause, reboot, and get back on track. When you are worried or stressed, your heart beats faster and you breathe in and out faster. When you slow down your breathing, you breathe deeply from your belly, you relax. There are lots of apps that can also provide breathing exercises for you and your children. Mind Masters and Stop, Think, Breathe are 2 examples. Breathing and movement strategies are appropriate for all ages and stages.
As we've been talking about, homecoming can be a time of joy for children, but adjusting to this major change in family dynamics can also prove to be difficult and confusing. We can help children prepare for a reunion by getting them to think about changes that have occurred during deployment, giving them the opportunity to prepare for adjustments and renegotiations. The questions are meant as suggestions of things you can talk about with your kids. So some of these questions might be, how have you changed since dad or mom has been away? How has our family changed? What do we do differently since dad or mom has been away? What do you think they've been doing? How can we help each other be together as a family again? How do you feel about them coming home? Are you nervous or excited? And how do you think they feel about coming home? All of these questions are intended to spark conversation on how things may have changed while the deployed parent or caregiver was away. They help continue the conversation by promoting children to start imagining or visualizing what it will be like for their parent or caregiver to return home. Imagination is another powerful tool that can help children adapt to change. Other points to consider. It is likely that everyone is going to be tired mentally and physically. Be mindful of that when planning reunion and the days following. It takes time to relax again. We encourage family members to practice some independent self-care. We encourage families to engage in one-on-one time with each other. If you're interested in information regarding special times with children, please let us know and we can send some information. While your caregiver or partner is enjoying some one-on-one time with your child, we encourage you to take some time for self-care. Challenges will happen as your family becomes accustomed to the new normal. Try to stay realistic and forgive yourself and others when you stumble.
Remember, you don't have to go it alone. Military families are fortunate to have a broad network of resources and supports available to them. Here are some of the resources you can turn to for support, for more information, and for specialized services if there are specific concerns for yourself and your child. The H&R MFRC. We have a mental health and well-being team, and their support can be accessed for a variety of reasons, including work-related separations, parenting challenges, special needs, relationship issues, separation and divorce, grief and loss, and family violence. Counselors are able to provide referrals to other community agencies and supports, as well as education and prevention programming. We also have adult social programs like Deployment Live Chat and Live Q&A. We have youth social programs like at the Henderson Sweetman Youth Center. There is Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services. They have the Family Information Line, which is supportive counseling 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The eligibility is a spouse, partner, child, parent, or relative of a CAF member, including families of the fallen. And their phone number is 1-800-866-4546. There is also CIFMAP, which is the Canadian Forces Members Assistance Plan. They are a confidential 24/7 line to help with well-being and work performance concerns. The eligibility is CAF community, including Reg Force, Reserve Force, cadets, and their families. They have professional counselors through the Employee Assistance Service of Health Canada. Specifics and/or limitations, there's no cost. Focus is on short-term counseling with a maximum of 8 sessions per situation. And they can also refer to local community if necessary. You can call them at 1-800-268-7708. Again, that's 1-800-268-7708.
And then we have Strongest Families, which is a fabulous no-cost option available to you. It offers parenting coaching by telephone to families with a child or youth that is struggling with anxiety or behavioral challenges. Strongest Families also has a program for adults called ICAN, Conquering Anxiety and Nervousness. And then Padre and Faith Groups. So accessing the Duty Padre can be done by contacting the H&R MFRC and being connected to the chaplain. And then we also have your bubble of friends. So people you know, mentors, people you've met at deployment activities, volunteer opportunities, or at work.
As we wrap up today, we want to encourage you to remember the wonder of every day. Taking time to just be. Enjoy telling a story. Feel the sun on your face as you take a walk. Make eensy-weensy spiders with your fingers. Watch your children play hockey or paint. Drink a coffee, stare at the stars, play at a playground. All of these give you a chance for your family to enjoy being together and to reconnect. We've come to the end of our session. Thank you for being with us, and we have discussed a lot of information. The reunion phase is filled with much excitement and some worry, but what we know is that military families can be very resilient, and all phases of deployment can provide many opportunities for growth for everyone. Thank you for listening to our recording. If you're joining us for the live Q&A, we look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, please email them to deployment@halifaxmfrc.ca. Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you.